Is Marvel Studios going to recast the Kang character, or are they changing all their plans for the multiversal saga? Well, due to a brand new report from a very reliable insider, I think we have the answer, and it's kind of both. What the f? Yeah, allow me to explain. This one's a doozy, but basically, Marvel Studios is going to recast the Kang character, but you're not going to see him for a long time, and they're absolutely changing the plan for the next couple of years. Okay, so let's get right into it. The newest report here comes from My Time to Shine Hello, who says another one, Beyonder is still the main villain for Secret Wars. That will be their excuse to recast Kang. So that might not seem like a lot, but I promise you it's actually crazy, and especially when you combine it with some other things that insiders have been saying, this all really makes sense. So they're both going to recast Kang and also go away from the Kang storyline. Look, I know, it's weird, it's crazy, but let's just focus on the first part. So they are going to recast Kang, but it's going to be the long-rumored Beyonder Kang, a version of Kang that's going to be the Beyonder from Marvel Comics. So you will have the Beyonder as the main villain for Secret Wars, and that will be played by a different actor. And there's so many different great actors they could cast in that role, and I think the fact that it will be the Beyonder Kang will allow them to do all kinds of visual things to the character, do some really crazy stuff that could also explain partially why Kang looks so different. Because I still believe it will be the Kang the Conqueror from the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania movie. I think you might even still see those scars on the side of this new actor's face. But if you take another look at this scoop here, if you take another look at this sentence, My Time to Shine Hello is basically saying that you won't see the recasted Kang until the Beyonder. You kind of have to read between the lines there, but essentially, if they were going to continue the story of the Council of Kangs, then My Time to Shine Hello would just be saying they're going to recast Kang and you'll see a different actor play the Kang variants. But instead, she is reporting that Kang will be recast and you will see a new actor as Kang as the Beyonder in Secret Wars. But what does that mean for the Council of Kangs and for the multiversal saga? Well, I do believe that Marvel Studios is going away from that Council of Kangs, and that's probably why they first fired Jeff Loveness off of the Kang Dynasty. And as I've been bringing up in videos, Joanna Robinson did say she heard from a very reliable source that the reason Jeff was fired from Kang Dynasty was because Marvel Studios was quote-unquote moving away from the Kang story. So it seems like this was a plan that Marvel Studios was putting into place regardless of how the trial was going to end up for Jonathan Majors, and it makes some of these other reports that we talked about last week make even more sense. So according to Daniel RPK, the script for this Kang Dynasty, which was changed to Untitled Avengers 5, was still going to revolve around Kang. And it was still going to have the Beyonder, or rather Kang and Jonathan Majors, as the main focus of it. Now, the most recent reports from Daniel suggest that Marvel Studios is changing that plan because they have moved the filming of the Kang Dynasty, or I guess now Avengers 5, to the end of next year. It was originally going to film early next year because Marvel just really wants to get started on the next Avengers movie. It's probably going to have a long production because of all the crazy stuff they want to put in there. But the main point I'm trying to get across to you guys is that Marvel Studios seemingly was already moving in the direction of going away from the Council of Kangs. That is likely why you had the ending of Loki season 2. It is likely why Jeff Loveness was fired from the Kang Dynasty, why Marvel had decided to call it Avengers 5, because they were just going to make it Secret Wars Part 1 and go right to the Beyonder. Now, personally, I think there's a version of this all playing out in which Marvel would have kept the Kang Dynasty and would have kept a lot of the variants of Kang and the Council of Kang in different movies leading up to Avengers 5. They're likely just going to fast forward to the big event when like the Beyonder reveals himself, or they get defeated and the universes fall apart, some kind of crazy thing, because they want to get into Secret Wars right away. And I think Marvel was planning to have some of that stuff happen in different movies and then wrap it up in some way in Avengers 5. But now that Majors has been found guilty and Disney can't move forward with him as Kang, I think they're changing it even more. To be clear, I I think the collapse of the multiverse will continue, and other multiversal villains will probably fill the void left by the Council of Kangs. And just recently, Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus reported the same thing. Alex reported that other villains from the multiverse will come to fill the void left by the Council of Kangs. But for better or worse, Kang, or a Kang variant, will still be the big bad villain of all of Secret Wars and of all of the multiverse saga. So who could these multiversal villains be? Like, what's Marvel Studios going to do with the next several years of multiversal projects? Well, we've already seen examples of other universes and other groups of heroes or villains that are trying to figure out what is going on in the multiverse. We see 838 in Multiverse of Madness. This is an organization that's literally mapping out the multiverse. They know about incursions. They're trying to protect their universe. And I don't even know if they're good guys. Like, looking back at that whole scene, it just seems like that world, that universe was kind of shady. And a lot of those heroes that we saw want to destroy actually kind of seemed like villains to me. And Binary in the post-credit scene of The Marvels, and a lot of people think that universe is friendly as well, but it's possible that that's like Dark Beast or a dark version of Hank McCoy, and that this version of Binary is not a good person either. And either way, they seem to understand about new realities. They have both of the bangles, so they might even know how to travel into other dimensions or universes. And then at the end of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, we see Clea show up, and it's rumored that Clea is going to be involved with the Black Priests. And the Black Priests were these crazy beings out there in Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out event. This was the lead up to his Secret Wars, and the Black Priests were playing what is known as the Game of Worlds. And I say all that to say maybe that's the way Feige's going to do this. Like, it's possible he's setting up some of these other groups to have this kind of multiversal battle, which will now replace the Council of Kangs as like a driving force towards Secret Wars. It's also possible he plays into villains from other franchises. Like, I really like that a lot. We know that Magneto is going to play a big role in Deadpool 3. This was a big rumor that started early on when people were talking about Deadpool 3. And we might see a similar thing to 838 where they're advanced, they know about the multiverse, but in this universe in Deadpool 3, it could just be that Magneto's in charge and kind of the leader of that group of heroes or villains or that Illuminati. And we've heard that Doctor Doom is going to have a post-credit scene in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie, and that the Fantastic Four is essentially going to set up the total understanding of Secret Wars, of the collapsing of the multiverse. And so Doctor Doom being some kind of post-credit scene to that kind of a crazy movie, like maybe the Doctor Doom from the original Fantastic Four movies is going to be the Doctor Doom in that post-credit scene and will be brought back as this crazy multiversal villain. Heck, I'd even love for them to grab Apocalypse from the more recent X-Men movies and just change him up a little bit and make him awesome and make him one of the villains out there within the multiverse. Besides all that, there's also this crazy rumor started by Cryptic HD, who was talking about old MCU villains that might fill this void of the Council of Kangs. And that could be someone like a Red Skull, someone like Thanos, someone like Ultron, maybe even Killmonger. There's a lot of crazy options for different freaking villains from the MCU's past that could come back as a variant in another universe and be a villain that threatens the heroes that are trying to protect their own universes. Like, it's maybe even possible that the first Secret Wars movie will mostly take place on Battleworld, and you'll have heroes and villains fighting against each other, and then maybe the Beyonder shows up, and you might even see like some heroes and villains team up together to try to stop the Beyonder, because the Beyonder's just like way too powerful. It's just gonna wipe out everything that's left or stop them from even rebooting the multiverse or something like that. There's a lot of speculation and fun to be had now that we know we're probably not going to get the Council of Kangs moving forward, and instead going to get some other fun villains. This is pretty cool. Now, I wonder how much of this is even a new plan, because there was some evidence that they were already kind of doing this, right? We heard that there were rumored MCU past villains coming back. We heard Magneto's going to play this big role in Deadpool 3. I don't know. Maybe they were already going to do that and kind of have like the Kangs be behind all of these villains popping up? And now they're just removing that element, and instead they're just going to build up a proper villains versus heroes across the multiverse kind of epic freaking battle as it all goes to hell, and they all end up on Battle World. So look, a lot of this actually sounds pretty freaking cool. We'll see how it all plays out, but I think when you look at all the most recent reports, it seems like Marvel is going to go away from the Kang variants, from the Council of Kangs. They're still going to have the Beyonder as a variant of Kang show up and be the big bad in Secret Wars, but there's also a lot of buzz, a lot of rumors suggesting that Marvel's now going to have other big villains fill the void for the rest of the multiverse saga. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below, and as I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.